What if I told you that the habit you think is harmless is the very thing keeping you spiritually enslaved? You might laugh at first. It sounds extreme, maybe even ridiculous. After all, we've been told it's normal, healthy, even necessary. But there's something deeper going on, something they don't teach in health class or whisper in therapy rooms. This isn't about morality, shame, or outdated beliefs. This is about your spirit, your power, your destiny. Because here's the truth. If you are among the chosen, someone born with a purpose, with gifts the world doesn't understand, then nothing about your life is meant to be casual, especially not your sexual energy. That energy is sacred. And in today's world, it's under constant attack. Not through bullets or chains, but through quiet habits we're taught to laugh off. Masturbation seems like a private escape, a stress release, a moment of pleasure no one needs to know about. But what if it's a trap, a silent leash wrapped around your soul? Think about it. The world around you is flooded with images, suggestions, distractions, all crafted to keep your desires burning and your spirit dull. Why? Because sexual energy is creation energy. It's the root of focus, will, and spiritual clarity. And if that power stays in your hands, you become harder to control. So they keep you draining it, quietly, repeatedly, until you forget who you are. But there's another path, a harder one, yes, but one that leads to freedom. In this video, we'll expose why your energy is being hunted, how the matrix keeps you trapped in cycles of lust, and most importantly, what starts to awaken the moment you take it all back. From the very beginning, they knew who you were, even before you did. You didn't just arrive on this earth by accident. You were born with something special, something most people never tap into. A divine spark, a higher calling. And that's exactly why you were marked early. See, when someone is chosen, when they carry spiritual power and a deeper purpose, the world doesn't wait for them to grow into it. The system starts working immediately to distract, distort, and drain that potential before it ever wakes up. And the fastest way to do that, through your sexual energy. It's not just physical. It's not just about pleasure. Your sexual energy is raw power. It's the fuel behind your thoughts, your will, your vision. It's the force that creates life, not just in the body, but in the spirit. When directed with awareness, it can shape reality. When wasted, it leaves you empty. And the people who control the system, the ones behind the screen, the ones pulling the strings, they've known this for a very long time. That's why they aim so young. Why they flood your mind with porn before you even understand what you're watching. Why they shame you for your curiosity, confuse you with trauma, and then leave you chasing artificial highs that never satisfy. It's not an accident. It's a strategy. Because in the spiritual realm, energy is always visible. You can't fake your state. When your energy is pure, you shine. You attract things, people, opportunities. You gain insight, protection, even intuition that others can't access. But when you keep giving that energy away to screens, fantasies, or emptiness, you become dim. Your spiritual defenses weaken. You start broadcasting vulnerability instead of power. They don't fear how strong you are when you're angry or loud. They fear how clear and calm you become when your energy is clean. Because purity brings vision. It brings connection to the higher realms. And someone who sees clearly, who isn't addicted, distracted, or numb, is dangerous to a system built on keeping souls asleep. Every time you give in to that urge, it's easy to think it's just biology, just a natural release, just something human. But that's the trap, making you believe it ends there. It doesn't. Because every act of masturbation, especially when it's fueled by lust, carries a frequency, not sound, not visible light, but a spiritual vibration that affects more than just your body. It affects your mind, your energy, and your connection to the higher parts of yourself. When you release during masturbation, you're not just letting go of physical fluid. You're letting go of energy, spiritual energy, and depending on what you're thinking about, watching, or feeling in that moment, the energy you send out is either powerful and focused, or scattered and heavy. Lust doesn't create light energy. It creates density. It pulls your vibration down. And when that happens, it doesn't just disappear, it attracts. That's the part no one talks about. The unseen world, the spiritual realm, is always watching. And certain acts, especially when repeated over and over again, send out signals. Masturbation charged with lust sends out a signal like a flare, a dense, low-frequency vibration that draws in things that feed off it. Just like predators smell blood, these unseen entities pick up on spiritual emissions. You don't see them, but you feel the effects. That weird emptiness, that mental fog, that sense of guilt or sadness that shows up for no reason. It's not just your imagination. Something has been taken from you. You might not realize it, but every time you indulge without awareness, you're opening a kind of portal. Not something dramatic or from a movie, but a mental and emotional gateway. Your guard drops. Your clarity slips. And in that space, your spiritual energy becomes vulnerable. What comes through can be subtle, like a shift in mood, a rise in anxiety, a wave of tiredness, but all of it points to the same thing. You've been drained, not just physically, but spiritually, and this is why afterwards, you often feel off, like your light dimmed, like your energy was stolen, but you can't explain how. It's because something was taken, not by accident, but by design. You've just been harvested, and it happens in silence over and over again until you either wake up or waste away. This isn't about fear, it's about understanding. Once you see what's really happening, you begin to take your energy seriously. You stop calling it just a habit and start realizing it's a transaction. And you've been paying the price without knowing the cost. All around you, the world is filled with messages pushing one thing: more. More images, more excitement, more pleasure. Everywhere you look, there's something designed to grab your attention and keep it there, especially when it comes to sex. It's no accident that media is over-sexualized, that ads use desire to pull you in, or that endless stimulation is just a click away. This constant flood isn't there to help you. It's meant to keep your energy low and your mind distracted. Porn isn't just a way to pass time or entertainment. It's something deeper, something darker. Think of it as a kind of digital witchcraft designed to dull your spiritual senses. It tricks your brain and spirit into settling for shallow pleasure instead of real connection or growth. The images and videos flood your mind, hijacking your dopamine receptors, the parts of your brain that make you feel good. When that happens, you start needing more just to feel the same spark, and before you know it, your focus slips away. You become dependent on these quick hits of pleasure, and your energy turns sluggish and weak. But it's not just about feeling tired or distracted. This is about control. You were born to build, to create, to grow into something powerful. You have the strength to build empires, whether in your mind, your work, or your spirit. But instead of focusing on those dreams, you get caught staring at pixels, scrolling endlessly, losing your fire bit by bit. This isn't your fault. You didn't ask to be caught in this trap. The system was designed this way on purpose, to keep you small, quiet, and manageable. But here's the truth. Even though it's powerful, it's not unbreakable. You have the power to see through it, to wake up, and to reclaim the energy and strength that belong to you. The first step is understanding the trap. The next step is choosing to step out of it. When people who are truly connected to their spiritual path talk about masturbation, many say they notice something important slipping away. A kind of clarity, intuition, or even the special dreams that guide them. It's like a fog settles over their mind and heart, making it hard to sense the deeper truths that once came easily. This happens because when you ejaculate without clear intention or respect for your own sacred energy, you're letting go of something powerful, your life force, in a way that leaves you empty rather than fulfilled. Your sexual energy is not just physical. It's a deep, sacred power that feeds important parts of your spirit. It fuels your third eye, the center of your insight and inner vision. It powers your heart chakra, where love and compassion flow. It ignites your creativity, helping you bring new ideas and inspiration into the world. When you drain this energy carelessly, those parts of your spirit start to go numb. Your ability to sense things beyond the physical world weakens. The connection to your higher self feels distant and dull. This loss isn't only about energy. It also brings heavy feelings like guilt, shame, and a sense of unworthiness. These feelings act like chains, keeping you stuck and preventing you from fully stepping into prayer, presence, and your true purpose. When you feel these emotions, it's easy to turn away from the spiritual practices that once lifted you up. Instead of growing stronger, you end up caught in a cycle of doubt and frustration. But this journey isn't only about stopping the habit. It's much deeper than that. It's about learning how to transform this energy instead of wasting it. This process is called transmutation, turning your sexual energy into spiritual power. When you do this, you can rebuild the clarity, intuition, and dreams that make you feel alive and connected. You don't lose your gifts, you protect and grow them. This is the real path for the chosen, the way to rise above the trap and step fully into the strength and light that is already inside you. Sexual energy itself is not something bad or evil. Wanting and feeling desire is natural and part of being alive. The problem only comes when this powerful energy is misused or wasted in ways that drain you instead of lifting you up. You are divine. And because of that, your desires also have a divine purpose. They are not meant to be ignored or shamed. but honored and respected as a sacred part of who you are. There is a big difference between sacred celibacy and feeling trapped by shame or guilt. Sacred celibacy means choosing to hold and protect your sexual energy with respect and purpose. It's a conscious decision to save that power and use it to grow stronger inside. On the other hand, repression or shame around desire cuts you off from your own truth and causes inner conflict. Ancient prophets, monks, yogis, and warriors all understood this deep truth. They knew that conserving sexual energy leads to spiritual elevation. They didn't see desire as something to fear or fight against, but as a force to be carefully managed and transformed. When you hold on to your sexual energy, it builds a kind of fire inside you, a spiritual fire that fuels your strength, focus, and connection to your higher self. This fire is the same power that those who want to keep you weak fear the most. They try to steal or drain it, because they know how dangerous it is when you have it fully alive inside. So, sexual energy isn't the enemy. It's sacred, powerful, and meant to be protected as one of your greatest gifts. When you treat it with respect, you unlock a deep well of strength that can help you rise above the traps and live your highest purpose. It's important to understand that not every feeling of lust or desire that comes into your mind truly belongs to you. Some of these thoughts are not your own but are sent to you by invisible forces. These forces, often called spiritual parasites, feed on your sexual energy much like leeches feed on blood. They thrive on the energy you release when you give in to lust without awareness or control. When masturbation happens with feelings of shame or guilt, it creates a kind of opening in your energy field that allows these parasites to come closer and latch on to you. These beings are very subtle and hard to notice at first. They don't scream or show themselves openly. Instead, they whisper into your mind, tempting you to give in to cravings that feel overwhelming. They numb your emotions and make you want more, keeping you trapped in a cycle that slowly drains your strength. This is why sometimes you feel like you're fighting a battle within yourself. Part of you wants to stop, but another part keeps pulling you back into old patterns. That inner resistance, that sudden urge to give up just when you're trying to grow, is not really you. It's these parasites panicking because their source of energy is threatened. The more you understand this, the more you realize how important it is to protect your energy and reclaim your power. You are not alone in this fight, and it's not a failure to struggle. It's simply a sign that you are waking up to the truth, and that the forces that have kept you weak are losing their hold. When you stay strong and keep your focus, those whispers and temptations lose their power, and you start to heal on a deep level. Your spiritual energy becomes a shield that blocks these parasites and helps you rise above their influence. This awareness is a powerful step toward freedom and reclaiming the life you were meant to live. When you're caught in this cycle, your body and mind start sending clear signals that something deeper is happening. You might feel tired all the time, no matter how much rest you get. It's like your energy is being pulled away, leaving you exhausted and weak. Along with this fatigue, you might notice your mind feels cloudy, like a thick fog that makes it hard to think clearly or focus. Things that used to inspire you, like prayer or any kind of spiritual growth, suddenly seem uninteresting or even impossible to care about. After moments of pleasure, instead of feeling satisfied or joyful, You might be hit with a heavy wave of guilt or shame. It leaves you feeling empty, like something inside is missing, even though you just gave in to desire. Sometimes, strange and sudden thoughts come into your head, often unwanted and disturbing. These can be sexual or violent in nature. This isn't just random or psychological. It's a sign that your energy is being affected on a spiritual level. Another feeling many experience is a sense of being watched or a deep discomfort that feels like spiritual dirtiness. It's hard to explain, but it's like an invisible weight or presence clings to you, making you feel uneasy or exposed. These signs are not just in your mind. They are real spiritual symptoms that show your energy is being drained and that spiritual lust is taking its toll. Recognizing these signs is the first step toward breaking free and reclaiming your true power. The first step to reclaiming your power is awareness. You have to start noticing when you're being pulled into this spiritual battle, when those urges or feelings aren't just random, but part of something bigger trying to drain your energy. Once you recognize these attacks, you can begin to take control. The next important step is fasting, not just from food, but from anything that triggers these desires or keeps you overexposed to harmful influences like certain media or environments. This helps clear your mind and protect your energy. When the urges rise instead of giving in, try using breathwork and prayer. Focus on your breathing deeply and quietly, and say a prayer or positive affirmation. This redirects the sexual energy, turning it from something that drains you into something that builds you up spiritually. Physical movement is another powerful tool. Exercise, dance, or any creative action allows you to channel that energy outward, transforming it into strength and productivity instead of allowing it to consume you. Writing down your feelings in a journal is also very helpful. Put your thoughts and emotions on paper without judgment or shame. This act of releasing what's inside you helps unburden your mind and soul. Finally, set a sacred intention for yourself. A clear and firm statement like, "I choose divine elevation over momentary pleasure." This intention acts as your guiding light, reminding you that your true power lies in rising above temporary desires and connecting with your higher self. Following these steps helps you transmute sexual energy from a trap into a source of spiritual strength. Remember, your energy is holy. You are not disgusting and you are not broken. You are divine. The very fact that you struggle with this shows that you are chosen, because the greatest battles are always fought against those who matter most. Masturbation itself is not the enemy. What truly harms you is the disconnection from your own power and purpose. When you take back your energy, you begin to remember who you really are and why you are here. Let those forces that try to keep you down fear your purity, because your rise will break their system. Say to yourself, "I reclaim my sacred energy," and know that your rebirth has already begun. Keep going and follow for more, because this is just the start of your true journey.